deer choices and chances. The near end of the season coming up next on the Journal. From the north, south, east, and west, from the woodland and plains and waterways, come challenges and thrills and excitement for every member of the wilderness family. These are our stories, our adventures from the wild places, both near and far. All of our hits and misses, the memories, our time spent living the wild life. Join us. Come past the streetlights. Step into the real world. The world of the Wilderness Journal. The Journal is underwritten by
your Cadillac area Kubota dealer, the Ina Store, with a full line of Kubota tractors, including the L2501 Compact and the Kubota RTV X850 Utility Series. The Ina Store in beautiful downtown Ina, Michigan. And by
Avalon and Tahoe Pontoons. Whether it's family, or fishing, or just plain fun, everyone is proudly crafted right here in America. Avalon and Tahoe Pontoons.
And by
With over a century of experience in the Indiana and Michigan area, Reith Riley is a full-service asphalt paving company handling commercial, industrial, and privately owned paving projects of all sizes. To learn more about Reith Riley,
and by
Mads Outdoor Products. Not only a full-line boat and dock store, they can also custom design, fabricate, and manufacture a wide range of aluminum parts and fixtures. Mads Outdoor Products in Harrison and Cadillac, Michigan.
And by viewers like you. Thank you. Hi friends, and welcome. Today we're going to take a look at the rest of the deer season. You know, it's hard to believe, at least for me, but another one is just about in the books. It's just about over. Before we close that book, however, I want to take the time to have a look at some of the choices and the changes that were made in my season, the last of the archery season, and then we're going to check in on some of the other journal families. We'll take a look at Camera Dave's very short but successful firearms hunt, and then we'll have a look at the current leaders in the family freezer deer derby. Yeah, we're going to show you some of what happened in the rest of the deer season, and I truly hope y'all are still out there giving it a go. There's no reason to quit. It's really only halftime. Hey, I'm your host, Kyle Randall. This is my Wilderness Journal, and we're going to have a look at the second half of deer season right now.
The difference a week makes. A week ago, it was beautiful. The colors were at peak. Now, a couple of hard frosts and 6 days later, save for a few oak trees, the woods is bare.
Just some oaks and a few beech trees were all the leaves still hanging, and that meant the deer were a lot easier to see. It also meant I was too. Like it or not, I needed to move. Well, with most of the leaves long gone and the winds of fall blowing nearly every day, I decided it was time for a move. I moved up on the hill back into the hard timber on this farm. I was hoping to see a lot more daytime activity, some more deer movement, and so far at least, this was looking like a pretty good choice. The first morning back up on the hill in the hardwoods, I was already seeing deer. I could see at least a couple, 2 yearlings and a full-grown doe scrounging around looking for acorns working across the hill. and they seemed pretty calm. They obviously had no idea I was there until suddenly, abruptly, they all moved off. And then I saw the reason why. It was an 8-point buck working his way more or less right into me. Friends, it was decision time. I had one tag in my pocket, and only a couple of days before the first archery season would be over. I tried to sit there just as motionless as I could and just watch. He was working his way in. He was coming to my false scrape. In fact, he and his running partner, a little button buck, were coming around. If they kept going, they were going to wind up right out in front of me, right in my shooting lane. And then, friends, I was going to have to decide. When they finally both looked away for a second, I reached over and grabbed my bow. Yes, I did. I decided to wait.
That's a pretty nice buck. 2, maybe 3-year-old. If I didn't already have one, I'd have probably taken a run at it. It's a good deer. But hopefully we'll see something a little older. Hopefully.
Well, that, friends, was certainly a chance and a choice. Yeah, I knew that with my favorite part of the hunting season, the early archery part, winding down, every opportunity I didn't take to fill my second tag was probably going to be one I didn't get back. So yes, to those of you who are just sitting there screaming at your television shoot, I understand. When you decide to wait, yeah, sometimes you run out of time, but fortunately, yeah, I still had a few more days. And long before daylight, I was already in my stand waiting for one of those days to get started. And as it turned out, it was a good thing I was there that early. In the gathering light, I could already see deer foraging beneath me, and the first one I could make out appeared to be a young buck. Now, I will tell anyone that asks and anyone that'll listen, how early should you get in your stand if you're going to hunt the morning? Well, the simple truth is, an hour too early is far preferable to 10 seconds too late. And this deer moving around right underneath me, he was all the proof I needed to keep me thinking that way. And speaking of thinking, a little later that morning, I was watching this doe cross the hill, and it did get me to thinking, A doe this time of year ought to be followed by, yeah, one of those. A pretty good looking buck with what appeared to be a stick stuck in his antlers was working his way across and right out in front of me. He was close enough I could see him pretty clearly, and it was obvious he was at least a 2-year-old. I watched as he worked his way in, watching that doe. He came through the brush and finally circled and started to come out right in front of me. It was time to make another decision. This certainly wasn't the oldest buck in the woods, but I could hear it. In the back of my mind, tick, 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 tick. I was running out of days. I do remember thinking, he'll just walk off and I won't have to choose. But then, of course, he turned and worked his way right over to my false scrape. And as he stood there working it, I think that's when it occurred to me. Just about the time I saw that doe fawn walk across in front of him, I recall saying to myself, Kyle, this might well be the last buck you see in the first half archery season. And then, when he turned and worked in even closer, yeah, I grabbed my bow. I still hadn't made up my mind yet, but I truly believe that good fortune goes to those who are prepared. And friends, never let it be said that I wasn't ready. And then, yeah, I decided to wait. I still had a day and a half, and you know, this deer next year, he'd be a real dandy.
That's another dub choice as a nice buck. I think I'm willing to wait.
Another choice, another chance, and yes, another questionable decision. Actually, when I saw that buck come in, the one with the stick stuck in his antlers, I thought I was looking at the same 8-point from the day before, but even after I realized it was a completely different deer, I still decided to wait. And friends, with now just a couple of days left and a wind change forecast, I knew I had to make one more move, take one more chance, and hopefully, just after daylight from this new location, I could see what I thought was a buck out in the hayfield. I didn't think he was very big, but I decided I'd try and grunt at him just to see more or less what he would do, and yeah, he seemed pretty interested. He marched right up there in front of me and then stood there looking around like, where are you? And when he couldn't find me, yeah, he went on his way. He was definitely next year's shooter, but it was encouraging to be seeing more deer.
He's just a little guy. We need to find his grandpa.
And then, just as the sun was about to break the horizon, I noticed another buck. This one was a little bigger in the body, but somebody had busted off one of his antlers. He strode in there looking around, checking out the does that were feeding out in the field, and then he too just kept on going. Obviously, the bucks were cruising looking for does. And friends, that's just about as good as a morning gets if you're me. Unless, if you, like I, appreciate a sunrise, to feel the cut of the cold air as you breathe in, to watch steam rise off a deer's back as the sun warms their body for the first time that day. Friends, this view, this feeling, you can't get this at the movies. You have to live this. And I mean it when I tell you, this view, this feeling, it is a great part of why I still do what I do. A broken buck and a beautiful morning. Both certainly worth the effort to change locations, and I certainly didn't regret it. But now, friends, now there was just one day left. One day in the first half of the archery season for me to hopefully fill that other tag that was now sort of getting warm in my pocket. Fortunately, that last morning, I was getting warm. I was grunting at what looked like a mature buck, and I had brought him all the way out to the edge of the field. He was just 80, maybe 90 yards away. Unfortunately, every time I quit grunting, he'd lose interest and start leaving. I even switched it up, used a different call, did a little more doe bleating, and each time he would come right out to the edge, but he never would cross that last 40 or 50 yards I needed. Until the fourth time. But now, finally, he was coming. Until, for whatever reason, he stopped short again. And this time, when he turned and just walked away, he took my last chance right along with him. That, friends, is how the first half of archery season ended, for me at least, sort of in a stalemate. Me won, the deer won, or more than one, and a tag still sitting in my pocket. Yeah, I just have to keep hunting in the late season, I guess. And yes, I appreciate those of you who are sitting there feeling bad for me. I truly do. I do want to, though, show you some of the rest of the activity from the coming gun season, like Camera Dave's very, very short but successful deer hunt from home.
There's a doe out there feeding.
Dave said he was watching a doe in the lower field, and when she looked up, he looked up, and no, it didn't take any time to decide.
"2023, beautiful buck. Yeah, nice 8-point. Net broke up, beautiful. This will be a great eating deer. Yeah, thank the good Lord. Boy, he went down right here. No tracking, that's always better too. Yep, good mature buck.
Congratulations, Dave, on a really nice deer and a great shot. And speaking of great shots, it was just a week or so later when young gun Ian Lilly and I were out on a family freezer deer competition hunt, and he was showing off some 200 plus yard skills of his own.
Looks like there's 8 or 9 out there right now.
You want to take a shot at it? That's a ways out there.
Yeah, I think I'll try.
Go ahead, get your gun ready, no hurry. It's the one with the tail up, right?
Yeah, on the left. Or
On the right, with their tail straight up. Now there's 2 of them with their tails up.
Yep. She's on the right now, I see her.
Yep, she's on the right side by herself.
Whenever you're ready.
Just don't shoot her walking, okay? I'm on it. Yeah. You tell me when you're ready.
She stopped out there. I'm ready.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Hit her. Watch her. Watch her.
I didn't see where she went.
She went straight to the right. She had to hit that. Nice shot.
I was pretty confident on that.
Were you?
Yep.
Good. Good. That's a poke, buddy.
It was. That was a ways out there.
200 yards.
Yeah,
That's a ways.
it was. She made it hard on me there for a
Oh
minute.
yeah, she kept moving and twitching and wandering. But
Sure, it's unsafe.
she acted like you hit her. Well, look at back, but
Yeah.
nice shot.
Thank you. Yeah, I was kind of...
Happy you got up now?
I am happy, yeah. Kind of hoping that we'd see a buck show up, but...
You know, what's the last day? We might as well take what the good Lord gives us.
Yeah, and she's
Be happy
a
to have
good
it.
doe.
Yeah, we had a lot to choose from, and that looked like one of the best ones. Nice
Yeah.
shot. Eh?
Thank you.
Hey, you want to go find your deer?
Yeah, I think we will.
All right. Let's go ahead, kick the door open there. Go out there in the cold and the wind.
There's some blood right here.
Oh, that deer.
That did.
Well, like I say, she ain't just taking a nap. Go up there and touch her, but I'm sure she's all done. Watch yourself. Boy, that's a good-sized deer.
Oh yeah, she's done.
Hey, look up over your right shoulder. Wait, look up.
Ah,
I wonder who put that there. Couple of good spots.
just a little bit, yeah.
All right, you better get a tag on her. Congrats, man. Awesome shot.
Great deer.
And that is a big deer. That is exactly what we hope to see. I've seen this deer half a dozen times, and I kept saying, you know, when we get to the doe hunting, she was on the number, and you made it happen. 1 and 0. You must be an engineer.
Yeah, we are legal.
Yeah. Well, there it is, buddy. Your last day to hunt, at least for the last day of this season.
Last day of rifle season, that's right.
Nice job. Nice,
Thank you.
nice
She's
deer, and a great shot.
Beautiful deer.
Yeah. Feeling good?
I am feeling really good, yeah.
What do you think?
I think that archery hunting is still, fun, but there's something to be said for rifle hunting and
Yeah, they're
everything like that. It was, it was great. It was a pretty far shot, farther than I've ever shot before. But we made it work, and it took a great harvest.
Oh, you made it work. You put spot on at just over 200. That's as good as it gets.
Yeah, and she's, beautiful deer. Absolutely cannot complain. Just wanted to say thank you to Charlie and Wanda again for being able to harvest from their land all these years since I was young. Every time it's a great time, and it's a great piece of land, and we've always done a great job. So I just wanted.
Well, yeah, we've been really blessed, and they've been awful gracious. I agree. And we'll certainly see to it that more than a little bit of venison shows up in their near future.
Absolutely.
Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Ian. That was a really nice deer and a heck of a shot. I hit the rangefinder 204 yards. That, friends, is why you practice. And yes, Ian is currently in the lead in the family freezer deer derby. He's hoping to win that steak dinner first prize, but no, it ain't over yet. There's still some of us out there, some of the young guns and some of the old guys that are braving the cold and the wind and hunting right down to the last, because for us, friends, deer season, the harvest season, it is one of the greatest times of the year, and it always ends, believe it or not, much too soon. Hey, I hope you and yours went out. I hope you had a great time, and if you're still hunting, good luck to you. If you get one, certainly send us a picture for the family album. There's nothing to be gained by sitting on the couch, and everything to see if you just get out there and have a look. I truly hope we see some of you out there. I hope you're filling your tags. I hope I get a chance to fill mine. And either way, if we do run into you, well, I'm going to stop and share that cup and a fire. And if I don't see you out there, friends, well, then I'll be waiting for you right back here, so we can share another adventure from my wilderness journal.
For information about anything on the journal, go to wildernessjournal.com. You can even stream previous episodes, just in case you missed one. And to post your picture or join the conversation, don't forget to like us on Facebook. The journal is underwritten by
Your Northern Michigan Case and Case IH dealer, the Ina Store, with sales and service for Case construction equipment at their Bridgeport location, and both Case IH Farm and Case construction equipment at their up north location in beautiful downtown Ina, Michigan, and by
Avalon and Tahoe pontoons. Whether it's family, or fishing, or just plain fun, everyone is proudly crafted right here in America. Avalon and Tahoe Pontoons.
And by
Quality starts at the quarries and the pits. To ensure every project exceeds specifications, Reith Riley is a pre-qualified aggregate producer and operates several full-scale and state-certified aggregate mines. To learn more about Reith Riley,
and by
Mads Outdoor Products. Not only a full-line boat and dock store, they can also custom design, fabricate, and manufacture a wide range of aluminum parts and fixtures. Mads Outdoor Products in Harrison and Cadillac, Michigan.
captioning provided by Woodland Taxidermy, a full-line taxidermy and rug service in Paris, Michigan.
Thank you again, my friends, for joining me, for becoming part of the Wilderness Journal family. A family that knows the wilderness is wherever and however you find it. And please, let our adventures serve as an encouragement. Step off the end of the asphalt. Head to the fields and forests and waterways. Put your own hands on your own food. Come out and see what free range really means. And be you 8, 18, or 80, man, woman, or child, know that there is opportunity and excitement enough for all, and all can be, for a time at least, wild. This is where we belong. It is our birthright, the legacy of our grandfathers. This is our first home. And friends, rest assured that until we see you again, be it out there somewhere or right back here, we'll keep your place at the fire and the lantern lit.